Hello and welcome to this webinar, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andy. I'm the senior technical consultant of the Manage Engines, the AD Solutions team. On behalf of Manage Engine and the AD Solutions, I welcome you all once again for this webinar. And the topic for today's session is a SIM solution, what we have at Manage Engine. Okay, so just to start with, Manage Engine has a wide range of portfolio. So we have a solution for everything, for the day-to-day challenges that you're facing with your IT infrastructure. So we have a ITSM solution, we have a PAM solution, we have IAM solution, and whatnot. So if you ask me a definition of Manage Engine, I would rather ask you a question. What is your problem? You tell me your problem, we give you a solution. So that's how we have developed all the products here at Manage Engine. So Manage Engine has a subdivision called AD Solutions. At AD Solutions, we have two different portfolios. The first one is AD360, which is a comprehensive IAM solution, which is an identity and access management. And then the SIEM solution, of course, that is the Log360. So for today, we are going to give, we're going to see see the complete features and functionalities of the Log360 product that we have at Manage Engine. To start with, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to give you a quick hint that there is a chat window on the Zoom panel. So please make use of the chat window just in case if you have any questions about the software. Then you also have a Q&A. You can see a Q&A in the Zoom panel. Make use of that just in case if you have any questions about the product, any questions pertaining to the webinar. You can make use of that to post your queries. And I assure you that it will be answered immediately because I have a team sitting besides me eagerly waiting to answer you. Okay, and before I start the session, just would like to get a confirmation from a few of you. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? And also, can you also confirm if you can see my screen? You can see a PowerPoint presentation that says Manage Engine Log360. Can anyone please post your comment? Oh, perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the confirmation. All right. So to begin with, what is a SIM? SIM is nothing but security, information, and event management, right? So to give you the definition of a SIM needs to have a few characteristics, okay? So a SIM solution needs to collect the logs from different sources, not just a single source. It has to collect the logs from your event viewer of the Windows server. It should collect the logs from your applications. It should collect the log from your IaaS, similarly your networking devices, firewall, routers, and so on. Okay, so collecting the logs from a single source does not make a solution as a SIM. All right, and once the information is collected from different sources, that has to be processed. In the other words, the event viewer or the information that you see on the event viewer are not that user friendly, correct? So it doesn't make sense if you're going to get the logs from a Windows event viewer and show the same information in the so-called SIM product that you have. So you need to parse the information. So parsing is nothing but converting the raw log into a readable format. So it should make some meaning, isn't it? Otherwise, you can simply go to the event viewer and see what's going on, right? So parsing is one of a very essential characteristic of a SIM that you need to have. Number 3, once the logs are collected, make sure the logs are stored in a location and that has to be retrieved if and when required. But that also doesn't mean that only collecting the logs will form a fully fledged SIM solution. No, absolutely no. Okay, so if you're going to collect the logs, and if you're going to store it in a specific location, you're just a log aggregation tool and you're not a SIEM solution. So what you need to have is you need to have a quick retrieval of such information. Let's say 10 years before you want to know, you want to know about the event that happened 10 years before, that who deleted a user. Make sure to get the information instantaneously. Okay, so otherwise it's not a powerful tool. Unfortunately, most of the SIEM solution that we have in the market fails here. Let me tell you how ManageEngine addresses these requirements down the line. One of the most important factor of the SIEM solution is correlation. It is very essential that you have to know, you need to have your own algorithm to set to see from where the thing has started. Let's say, for example, if you take a brute force attack, it follows a sequence of pattern, isn't it? So the first thing is your computer has to be compromised, which means if you're going to type in 5 bad password, and if the sixth time the user has successfully logged into the computer, then that is a brute force attack, right? Let's take an example of a ransomware. Once you compromise the computer, you will have to access the folder where your sensitive data are available. Once you get into that folder, you will have to rename the file. Then you have to encrypt it. Correct? So if this sequence of operation is happening in your organization, a perfect SIEM solution should not just give you an alert or the report. It has to stop that. It should prevent that from happening. It should prevent, prevent the chain of actions which can affect the other computers as well. How are we going to do that? We have answers in the Log360. Okay, so you need to have instant alerting mechanism. You need to have a comprehensive reporting solution. The reports needs to be customizable. Okay, you cannot simply depend on a report what you have in the SIEM product. You may have 100 report, but what if the specific information what you're looking for, you cannot customize it, right? So these are all the things that we will be discussing for today. We have a very short time, so I'm just going to give you a brief about what we have. So if you need an in-depth demonstration, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is andy.p@manageengine.com, so we can give you an exclusive demonstration based on your requirement. So since every organization has a different set of requirements, I'm going to follow a basic rule here. I'm just going to touch base all the functionalities that you need to know about the SIEM solution. Okay, right. Okay, so what do we have at the Log360? So the Log360 has these many functionalities. The first thing is it has a log management. Okay, again, I'm very careful. I'm telling you, it's not a log aggregation. It is the log management. Okay, which means the logs collected from different sources will be parsed by the product itself, or if you are pretty sure about what information that has to be retrieved from your logs, it is absolutely possible for you to to get the data what you wanted. Okay, and we have a comprehensive auditing, we have a threat intelligence, we have active directory auditing, and we absolutely have the compliance reports. That's again one of the very essential part of a SIEM, compliances. Okay, so all the reports, everything that you produce in the reports needs to comply comply the regulatory facts that is defined by the government, right? So we have exclusive compliance reports in the Log360. All right, so let me quickly take you to the Log360 user interface. So this is the Log360. Okay, the Log360 is nothing but it is an integration of some of the point products we have at the ManageEngine. So what are the products? Event Log Analyzer, ADAudit Plus, O365 Manager Plus, And you have one interesting module in the Log360 called as Log360 UEBA, User Entity Behavior Analysis, and a few reports that needs to be collected from the Active Directory. We have that in the trimmed version of ADManager Plus. That is also a part of Log360. Right. So I will start with the event log analyzer. Okay. So the event log analyzer collects the data from different sources. It can be anything. It can be your networking device. It can be your applications like database, MS SQL Server, Oracle database, or any application that you have. Uh, this tool can collect the data. It can collect the data from the networking devices, routers, switches, irrespective of what manufacturer they are. It can collect the data. It can collect the data from Unix devices, Linux devices, Windows Server, domain controller, workstations, and whatnot. So in a layman term, I would say the event log analyzer is capable of collecting the data from any source that is capable of generating logs in a human readable format. So the checkpoint here is make sure your system produces logs that is human readable. Okay, so how are you going to configure your devices? It's very simple and straightforward. If it is a Windows device, the tool will automatically scan your entire organization, and it will show the list of all the Windows devices that you have, where you can simply enable them. Like, you just have to add them to the product, so the tool will start fetching the data. Okay, so these are all the devices I have in my testing environment. That's for the Windows devices. Similarly, if it is a Unix device or if it is a networking device, all you have to do is forward the logs to a syslog server. If at all the logs are forwarded instantaneously, this tool will capture that, and the tool will automatically discover who is the manufacturer, what kind of device it is, and it will be added in the respective category. So this is automatic way. You don't have to do anything manually. Just forward the logs to the syslog server. That's it. The tool will automatically capture it. It will put it in the right category, and you would get the report in the right section. That's very important. So we reduce the efforts. So we don't want you to write algorithm to discover the tool and to put it in the right location. The tool does everything for you. So if it is a Windows device or a Unix device, you can see that the reports are available in the respective section. That's the best part of the Log360. So apart from this, if at all it is a database or any application that you need to configure, that is absolutely possible for you to configure it here. You can see that manage application sources, from where devices like, the applications like SQL Server or IIS or any other application, you can have it added right here. In that way, you can see the reports of such devices as well in the event log analyzer. So that's how you can configure the data, the devices. Okay. All right. So once the device is configured in the event log analyzer, the next thing is the tool has some inbuilt parser that will automatically convert the logs into a more readable format that will be more meaningful to you, and the respective information will be available in the report section. Now, if at all you would like to include your own custom parser just to extract the fields that you want to have in the reports, it is absolutely possible. So how you can do that, you just have to go to the settings section here. So, right. So we could see the option right here that says the custom log parser. So this will help you to extract the field that you wanted to get out of the log that is, out of the uh, event that is collected by the event log analyzer. So that's the custom log parser. Similarly, we also have a log collection filter. Okay, so what kind of information you want to collect from the logs that are collected from the from your sources, so that can be configured. So what kind of condition that you need to have? Is it based on the severity? Is it based on the event ID? Is it based on the event type? You can see that plenty of conditions are given right here, so you can simply enable what you want to have, what you want to add. So only those information will be a part of the report that you see in the report section. Okay, it doesn't mean that the remaining information will be ignored. No, the architecture of the event log analyzer is, once the tool has collected the logs, those will be stored in a Elasticsearch. Okay, so the Elasticsearch will be doing 5 different operations. So one part of the log will be sent to the archival, which means the logs will be stored in a respective location. You don't have to worry about the raw logs collected from different sources. Then parser will come into the picture. So the parser will filter out the logs and only the respective information in the readable format that will be sent to the user interface. Then you have an alert engine. Simultaneously, if at all any event that matches the alert profile you have configured in the event log analyzer, those information will be sent to you as an email alert, and remaining will be sent to you in a different reports. Okay, so these are all the activities that will be done simultaneously in the event log analyzer. So we will ensure none of the information collected from your logs will be missed out. Logs will be parsed instantaneously, so you will see it in the report. If you have alerts configured in the product, instantaneously that information will be shown in the alert section. And if you have email server or SMS server configured in the application, simultaneously those critical events will be sent to you as an email or an SMS. So these are all the things that will be happening simultaneously without any delay. So if something wrong happens in the organization, this tool will capture it and instantly that will be sent to you as an email. Now, one of the best part of the alert is it is possible for you to create an alert profile. So in the alert profile, you can define what information to be shown in the alert and what not. We also have a threshold based alert. So not every single log collected from the sources will be sent to you as an alert. Okay, so you have a threshold based alert and you can see the time range. So based on the work hours, how many, what went wrong has to be sent to you in an email that is configurable right here. You can define what information you want the tool to show. You can see that as well. So it's absolutely customizable, right? So what kind of notification that you need to get, email or SMS notification, that's absolutely possible. Okay, so this is one of the best part of the event log analyzer. You can see that there is an option for triggering a workflow. Okay, so if something bad is going to happen in your organization, let's say if it is a ransomware attack, the tool has identified that as a ransomware, then you have an option for invoking certain actions. For example, kill the process, stop the service, disable the computer, log off the computer. Plenty of actions that can be taken simultaneously when an administrator receives an email. Okay, so this is all we have in the alert section. That is very comprehensive for you. That's what you have right here. Okay, so apart from this, you have search. So searching is one of the best mechanism. Okay, so this search, what you have in the event log analyzer is instantaneous, irrespective of the information that is available in the database or in the archival, it doesn't matter. The tool will quickly retrieve the data. Let's say, for example, uh, I just want to retrieve a data which starts with the test 1 1. Okay, you can see that information. So it just popped up instantaneously. Okay, so the search can be done based on anything. Simply, you can provide a keyword, or else you can just say the severity is notice. And you want to search based on the device or facility, source, process ID, event name, username. Plenty of conditions are given right here. Okay, so these conditions will ensure that what information that you're trying to search alone will be available to you. Okay, so once the search is done, you have an option for you can see that there is an option for saving the search, or you can export that to any format, and you can save it as an alert as well. So subsequently, if any such event has happened in your organization, the tool would send you an email, right? So this is all you have in the search option, and you can see that the search uh, can be more spontaneous. You can go and select the history, like a particular date or duration, which is like from the month of January to March, or you can see that the search can be more precise for the last number of days or the month. Everything is available. So just to make sure that what information you wanted to see, that is available in the search. Okay, so that's very important. And you have a compliance section here. The tool has some predefined compliance reports are pretty much available. Almost every compliance that is needed of an hour is pretty much available here. Just waiting for the screen to come up. Here you go. So you can see that you have SOX, you have HIPAA, you have PCI DSS. Every compliance that is required are pretty much available right here. We have GDPR, ISO compliance. So all the reports that falls in the respective category are pretty much available. If at all, the desired report is not available, or if you say that there is one new compliance that you have to obey, which is not available right here, don't worry. We have an option for creating your own compliance report. All you have to do is select the right report that falls under your compliance and have it created as per your requirement. So select the right report, okay, and just hit the save button. That's it. In that way, your compliance report is ready. Okay, so coming back to the report section, like I said before, the reports are very well categorized right here. So for any information about the Windows logs, you can see it right here. System threat detection is there. Registry changes is there. Unix and IBM Cisco devices. You can see plenty of devices are supported by default. And these are all the sample report that you can see right here. Okay, so the reason for showing this is you can access this test environment. It's demo.eventloganalyzer.com. So you can see what kind of reports we have in our SIEM solution. Okay, right. So the next interesting part of the event log analyzer is the correlation. So any SIEM solution needs to have this correlation functionality. Okay, so a correlation is nothing but let's take a same example of a ransomware. The first action would be the user compromising the network, then coming into your system, compromising your computer using a brute force attack. After that, access the folder, rename the file, encrypt it. So that's the sequence of action, right? So here in the correlation section of event log analyzer, we have some predefined actions, predefined reports. Okay, so it is absolutely possible to modify the reports that we have, modify the rules that we already have, or you can go ahead and create your own custom rule. Okay, so you can see that you can add any number of actions, any number of activities that has happened in your organization. Okay, so we can see that you can have the time interval. So if something happened within 10 minutes of time frame, if something happened within 5 minutes, or if that is instantaneous, and you can see that conditions can be like device name and log on failure or log on success. You can add any number of conditions in such a way that you can write your own correlation rule. In that way, you can be more precise about what attack has happened in your organization if that is well defined in this custom correlation section. Okay, so this is all we have, and it is absolutely possible for you to invoke the custom correlation in the alert. So if any sequence of such thing happens in your correlation section, that will be sent to you as an email alert, right? So this is all we have. And one last thing is that we have threat intelligence. Let's say you are getting request, or you're getting emails, you're getting uh, suspicious information from any blocklisted IP address or a blocklisted websites. Those information will be available in a separate report section. That is what you call it as a threat intelligence. So how many times you have received a request, how many times you have received an email from such websites, from such domain, you will be getting the information in the threat section. Okay, so we maintain a real-time database, so that will periodically get updated. We are subscribed with a third-party vendor, and they are providing the information about the newly added blocklisted websites and the IP addresses. So it's going to be instantaneous. Okay, so that is configurable in the tool. All right, so you can add a threat source from here. These are all the types that is supported. So in that way, if any such threat has happened, that will be reported to you. This is all we have. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just wind up the event log analyzer. So these are all the features we have. I have just touch based some of the significant features of this tool. But if you have any other questions about the software, let me know. We are more than happy to assist you with the demo of the tool personally. All right. So next one is the ADAudit Plus. Okay. Now you might ask me a question. Okay, before that, ADAudit Plus, the primary source of the ADAudit Plus is the security logs of the event viewer. So whatever the information you have on the event viewer, this tool will go and fetch that, and that will be shown as a report to you. Of course, there will be some parsing happening. Therefore, the reports, what you see in the ADAudit Plus will have lots of information, lots of meaningful reports. Okay, just waiting for the screen to pop up. Okay, here you go. All right, so now this collects the data from the domain controller, right? Now, let's talk about the event log analyzer for a second. I told you event log analyzer can can collect the logs from any device that is capable of generating logs in a human readable format. This also includes the domain controller. Now, if you ask me, do we have any overlap between the ADAudit Plus and the event log analyzer? I would say absolutely no. ADAudit Plus is very precise about giving the changes that happen in your Active Directory. But the event log analyzer will just tell you something has happened, but it cannot precisely look into the logs to tell you that this is the specific person, let's say XYZ, has disabled this account. It can tell you that account got disabled, but this cannot exactly tell you who disabled the account. Also, ADAudit Plus has a feature where you can get the old value and the new value. For example, we have a report that says, okay, there is a report available called the user attribute old value and new value. Okay, let's say you have modified a user's telephone number in the Active Directory. Now, this tool can get that details. It can tell you who modified that, what was the attribute got modified, what was the previous value, and the current value of the attribute that got modified in the Active Directory. You can see the information right here. Okay, so the reports can be exported to any of these file formats, and just like the event log analyzer, you have alerts available in ADAudit Plus as well, just to be more meaningful and precise about the changes that you wanted to get as an alert. So it's absolutely customizable. Okay, now what are the sources from where ADAudit Plus collect the data? Okay, so earlier we have seen the event log analyzer, and the event log analyzer can get the data from any device that is capable of generating logs. Now, ADAudit Plus is very particular about domain controller. That's one of the source from where ADAudit Plus can get the data. Number two, member server. What is a member server? You have a server in your organization which does not have the Active Directory installed on it, and you're using that server for some other purpose, maybe for IAS or for a SQL database or an Exchange server. It could be anything, but it is a Windows server where you don't have the Active Directory installed. That is called as a member server. Now, ADAudit Plus can go and fetch the data from such member server, and anything happen on that computer, let's say who logged in, what time the user has logged off, right from the time the user has logged in till he logged off from that computer, what are all the actions made by that user, you can get that in the server audit section. This is what I'm talking about. The server audit gives you the complete details about all the changes happen in the member server. Okay. The third source is the file audit. Just like the domain controller and the member server, we have this interesting feature or the module where the tool will go and fetch the data from the file server, and these are all the information that you'll be getting from it. All the changes happen on the file server. Okay, so who created a file, who deleted a file, uh, and who accessed a file. If the access got failed, what is the reason for the failure? If any modification got failed, what is the reason for that failure? Failed attempt to read a file, failed attempt to write a file. Every single information that an auditor needs to know about the uh, about what's happening on your files and folders, you have that right here. Very importantly, the information are very precise. Okay, so even this can tell you what is the old value and the current value of the change that has happened in the files and folder. Okay, so it can give you the folder name, location of it, time it got modified, who modified, what is the event number. You can see plenty of information that you can see right here. So in the file audit section, all right, so in the file audit section, we have classified the reports into 4 different sections. Okay, first thing is the overall changes happen on your files and folders. The next one is server based. In a particular server, what are all the changes happen? You can see it right here precisely. Then you have a user based report where you can select one or more users, and the tool will tell you all the changes made by that particular user. You can get it right here. And the next one is a share based report where you can get the report precisely on all the changes happen in a share. Okay, so you have an option for selecting the particular share that you wanted to get a report from it, and you can see the changes happen over there. I got nothing in it, so no mind. All right, so this is what you have in the file audit section. And so coming to the other interesting features of the ADAudit Plus. You have alerts very similar to what you have in the event log analyzer, but again, this is very particular about changes happen in Active Directory. Okay, so you have an option for creating a alert profile, and here you can define what activity that has to be sent as an alert. So whether it is on a logon category or a group modification or a user modification, you can see it right here and select the respective activity. Then you can define what information needs to be available in the alert. By default, we give you all the information, pretty much everything what you wanted. But still, if you want to get some more additional information about the alert, that is possible. Okay, so you want to have the logon type. You want to add the where or any information that makes more meaningful to the alert that can be added right here. These are all the variables supported, but of course, it's just pick and choose whatever you want to see. That's pretty much available right here. Okay, so that's very important. And the alerts are threshold based. Okay, so you can define, let's say, not every logon failure that has to be sent as an alert. Logon failure happen within 10 minutes of time frame. 5 times it has happened. You can get that as an alert. And you want the username to be defined in the alert, like logon failure happened to that particular user, that is available. And business hour alert. Finally, we have the filters. Okay, so the filter will make sure that only the conditions that was met in the filter alone will be sent to you as an alert. It's based on the event number. If the event number equals to or event number is greater than, you can see the conditions can be added right here. Okay, so that's the filter. And finally, in what way you want to receive an alert, either SMS or a text, either text or an email, that is configured right here. So accordingly, you will be receiving the alerts generated by the ADAudit Plus. And we also have an option of executing a script. Let's take an example. Something happens, a group got modified, a user got added to a group where he is not supposed to be the member of. If that is the case, you can write a script and invoke here so that the change can get reverted. Okay, so but the script you have to write by yourself. We have customers using this functionality, effectively using this functionality because we are helping them to prevent it. Okay, so that's all we have in the alert section. All right, so the other important aspect of the Log360 is we have the Log360 UEBA. So the Log360 UEBA is nothing but user entity behavior analysis. So the UEBA, it maintains a standard. It will set a baseline for all the activities or all the users who are there in the organization. Okay. Now, any activity that breaches the baseline will be considered to be an anomaly, and that will be reported to you here. So it can be the logon failure. It can be anything that breaches the anomaly. So this is absolutely configurable. Okay, so you have all the options for creating your own anomaly report, your own custom report, just to get the data what you wanted. So it is customizable, but I'm just letting you people know that we have this interesting feature as well in the Log360, right? So finally, we have the ADManager Plus, the trimmed version. So the ADManager Plus is nothing but, like I said before, it is an Active Directory management and a reporting software where you will get the information about a very few Active Directory reports. This includes the inactive users, users logon information, like when was the last time the user has logged on to the domain controller, how many groups you have, who is a member of what group. Those kind of basic information, you will be getting it in the ADManager Plus. Okay, so again, it is not the a traditional ADManager Plus where you have all the features. It is just a trimmed version, and this version of ADManager Plus has only the reports and not the management operations, right? So that's with ADManager Plus. And finally, we have the O365 Manager Plus. Again, this is the trimmed version. You can see that the reports that can be generated from the O365, including the email traffic, uh, the contact reports, or how many users you have. So these kind of basic information that you wanted to know, you will be getting it. Similarly, you have auditing. So anything happen on the exchange, let's say a user has logged into somebody else's mailbox, that will be reported to you. And you have some auditing pertaining to the Azure Active Directory, like how many users were created, how many users were modified, and plenty of other information, right? So this is all we have in the O365 Manager Plus, and you have alerts as well as the monitoring. It's a part of the Log360. So once again, this one, what you see here, the O365 Manager Plus, is only the reports. Okay, you cannot do any management operation. That is, creating a user, assigning the licenses. Those things cannot be performed because this is just a log, management software, right? So you cannot do any management pertaining to your O365, but you can see all the reports and the uh, auditing part, right? So this is all we have in the Log360. Uh, Event Log Analyzer, ADAudit Plus, O365 Manager Plus, and the ADManager Plus, including the UEBA. So this is all we have. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I just would like to emphasize you that you can just make note of my email address. So if you have any questions pertaining to the Log360, feel free to reach out to me. I'm just going to type in my email address to every one of you. So this is my email address. So you can just reach out to me for any assistance about the software. You can either reach out to me, or you can see that this is the support email address. So log360-support@manageengine.com. Okay. So see that. This is my email address. So just reach out to me if you need to have any personalized demo about the software. We are more than happy to engage you. That's it from me. I just would like to thank every one of you for joining the today's session. And one last thing is, there is a poll that I'm going to open up in a short while. So please do spare some time and update the information. The poll is now launched. So it's going to be 2 different polls. So please bear with me the next 2 minutes and give your feedback about it. So there was one question I can see here. Will the Log360 support multi-tenant? Absolutely yes. You can configure any number of tenants. It is absolutely possible. Any number of tenants or any number of domains that can be configured. All right, so there was another question. Will the session got recorded? Yes, the session got recorded. Please do send me an email. We will send you the link where you can download the recorded session, and you can use that for the reference. All right, so thank you so much for giving your feedback.